Hi, and welcome to Just Pauses. The other day, I was thinking about how much destiny matters in our lives. When you take a closer look at your life and the lives of a few others around you, what do you see? Is everything destined? And that is how everything happens in our lives? Does nothing else matter? What about our plans, dreams, desires? What happens to them? Actually, it is difficult to assert anything with a lot of conviction. We can't comprehend everything in this life. We can't understand everything either. Whenever I take a pause and reflect, I see it this way. One, yes, destiny matters, but if not accompanied by efforts, destiny changes as well. For instance, we may get a treasure or a wonderful person in our lives, or a scholarship, or a dream job. But if we do not bother to take care of the gift we have gotten, we are destined towards losing it all. And second, sometimes no matter how many efforts we put in a particular direction towards getting a job or saving a relationship, but if something else is destined for us, our efforts reach a dead end. We feel disappointed, sad. But then, if we just wait and observe keenly, we may be able to see how the dots connect and we land where we are supposed to land. Hence, just as only merit sometimes does not suffice, so also just destiny cannot be taken for granted. There is this story which has been told and retold several times. I don't know who has written it, but I find it interesting every time I read or listen to it. Once upon a time, there was a very powerful king who ruled over a rich kingdom. One day, a very well known astrologer, known for making exact predictions, arrived in his kingdom and put up a hut on the outskirts of the kingdom. The king one day called him to his court and welcomed him graciously. The king tried to give him a gift, a purse full of gems, but the astrologer politely declined and said that he accepted no gifts and that he was satisfied with whatever his own fate brought him. The king asked him, "What do you mean?" "Well, a person is rich or poor by virtue of his own fate and labor," said the astrologer. "If a king wants to make someone rich by gifting him wealth, it won't work. The person would lose such wealth one way or the other," the astrologer said. The king was not convinced. He challenged the astrologer. "Sir, you call anybody you want and tell me what his fate has for him, and I will change it." The astrologer calmly replied, "O king, this is your court, and so it would be better if you yourself call a person and see." The king whispered something into the ears of a minister, and a little while later, a well dressed young man presented himself in the court. The astrologer studied his forehead, and then the young man was told to leave. Thereafter, the astrologer said, "This young man is born poor and shall remain poor. He lives in a hut between the fields and shall remain there." The king was surprised. He admitted, "You are right, sir. We clothed him richly, though in fact he is our gardener. But I will make him rich within a year. He won't remain poor anymore." The astrologer smiled and said, "All right, try it, but give me the permission to leave." And the astrologer left. The next day, the king called the gardener and gave him a letter with some money. He instructed him, "Go to my friend who lives a few kilometers away, give him my letter. The money is for meeting your traveling expenses." The gardener was unhappy. He returned to his hut with the letter, sad at the prospect of having to travel in the blazing heat just to deliver a letter. It felt like a punishment to him, but it was the king's order. He had to go. He started his journey and passed through 2, 3 villages. He was tired. It had become too hot. He was hungry and thirsty. He stopped at a food stall when he happened to meet a farmer who was known to him. They began to chat, and the gardener lamented about his plight. His friend laughed and said, "Why are you so unhappy? As the king's messenger, you will get a royal treatment. I would have happily gone if I was in your place. If you wish, I shall go and deliver the letter." The gardener was happy that his friend was willing to do the job for him while he could rest there. The friend took the letter and traveled for 2 more days and reached the other kingdom, where he was warmly received by the friend of the king. He presented that king the letter, which read, "Dear friend, the bearer of this letter is a very clever and hard-working young man. Give him 400 acres of land and make him a landlord. He is like my son. If you find him worthy, you may marry your daughter to him. On his return, I will reward him very much." The king's friend liked the young man, and he gave him all that was requested in the letter and got his daughter married with him. Meanwhile, the gardener returned to his hut and rested for 2 3 days before resuming his duties. One day he was watering the plants when the king spotted him working hard, and he was surprised. He went up to him and asked him about the letter. The gardener told him the truth. The king was enraged, and he remembered the prophecy of the astrologer. But he decided to give him one more chance. Meanwhile, the gardener felt sad that the king was unhappy with him. After a few days, he plucked a few ripe watermelons from the garden and took them to the king to please him. The king was happy. He signaled a minister and told him something, after which the minister took one watermelon inside and cut a square piece cleanly off the melon. He scooped out the pulp and filled the hollowed inside with gold coins. The cut off square was replaced to make it look like a whole watermelon. The king told the gardener that he was happy and wanted to gift him something precious. The gardener was excited, but not for long because the king gave to him one watermelon, that same watermelon. The gardener grumbled all the way home. On the way, he met a friend who asked him why was he unhappy when he had such a fine melon in his hands. The gardener replied, "There is nothing to be happy about. The king gave it to me as a reward. Imagine, I took the melons to him. What am I going to do with this one melon? Here, if you want, you take it." And the gardener got rid of the watermelon and went towards his hut. The story ends here. Well, what do you think? Do comment and share. Do you believe just in destiny or just in merit and efforts or in both? Take a pause. Thank you.